Selamat sejahtera dan selamat sepupu. Sepupus, all of us know about the India-Pakistan conflict. It's on ceasefire right now, but even now, it is still causing fights over the internet. With India, Pakistan comparing pictures of aeroplanes, conflicts real and imaginary. But you know, as the conflict has gone on, it has been exported all across the world, and it's getting more and more toxic. Which is why today I want to talk about something sensitive. Let's talk about Malaysian Indians in the time of the India-Pakistan conflict. Sepupus, Malaysia, like India, was a part of the British Empire once upon a time. I think it's well known in Malaysia, right, that we are not the same as one another. Lee Kuan Yew might have said that there are
fundamental primeval differences
between us because of our family, our lineage, and everything else. The Indian Malaysians that we have today actually came over mostly under the Kangani system, although there were some people who came as traders a long time ago. The Indian Malaysians of today definitely have families that came from India. Maybe they are no longer there, but maybe some of them still have connections back to India.
But then lots of years and lots of drama have come and gone.
Before you know it, through all those years of living together, today they're one of Malaysia's three major communities, Malays, Chinese and Indians, and they make up about 6.6% of the population. We got Merdeka together, lived together, died together, and exist together in this weird, wonderful picture called Malaysia.
Which is why some people think of Malaysia as a miracle of diversity. Well, Anwar Ibrahim certainly loves that marketing.
Malaysia is a multiracial country. Now we can showcase that we are the Muslim majority with strong ethnic Chinese and ethnic Indians, and the tribal groups in Sabah Sarawak can be taken as one great family.
So, you know, whenever you look at like restaurants like Ali, Mutu and Ahok, you go around schools, then you see it right there. Malay, Chinese, Indian, Malay, Chinese, Indian, Malay, Chinese, Indian. And it looks like a paradise type of thing right there. But take a look on social media, especially when it comes to anything about the India-Pakistan conflict, and you will see anything but. We're actually seeing people start to connect the broader conflict to people who are Indians in Malaysia, and then associating their favorite enemy, Israel, with India, question national loyalty, connecting India over to local Indian Malaysians, screaming, "How dare you support India? Do you have any love towards your country anymore?" I'm starting to be suspicious of them. People mocking Indians,
Full-on K-word.
telling them to go back to India, trying to act smart and then saying, oh, they need to support Pakistan, otherwise they're not loyal to the country. Literal vitriol, insults, even on some of my videos here.
But I think the most extreme statement I've seen comes from this guy right here who said,
Let's sacrifice hundreds of thousands of cows in Malaysia. And when I look at this, I'm like, wow, seriously? Even if some people want to support India, or if they have family or ties back to India, what's the problem with that? Support whoever you want to support, because frankly, that's none of my business.
and that's how it should be, but some people don't think so.
You know, when I look at all those pictures on Merdeka and like even those stock photos on Canva, I see like this idea that Indians are partners in Malaysian nation building. But if they were anak Malaysia, I would say that they're probably the least favorite child. As much as I want to say like Malaysia, truly Asia, this is not us. These guys just got poisoned by Dr. Maza and his game of playing foreign minister. In a way, this is not anything new. Malaysian Indians have been discriminated against over and over again, and by pretty much everyone. And by that I mean that like it's not just Malay Malaysians who have discriminated against the local Indian community. Even Chinese Malaysians have discriminated against the Indian community.
Then there's this guy as well who's yeah, you decide.
They're the most discriminated against group in the entire labor market, in housing and in rental. That's a fact, and we have to reckon with that fact. There are all sorts of like stereotypes out there, like, oh, Indians are drunkards, Indians are violent, Indians are this, that, yada, yada, yada. As if there's no consequence and there's no need to think about the feelings Indians feel, how they think, and how they're going to react to anything. But especially now, in this age of the India-Pakistan conflict, I think that the community has become even more vulnerable than before.
Mainly because people are getting brainwashed into thinking that this is a religious conflict by irresponsible people.
You get like some crazy things out there, like, oh, Indians are secretly loyal to the Hindutva extremist BJP government. They all hate Muslims. They will all fight the Malays and they will take us over without us noticing type thing right there. You know, when you listen to these people, right, like you would think to yourself that, oh, the Indian Malaysians are all parasites, they've never contributed to Malaysia, they are a menace to society, we need to kick them out. Which is really ironic because all this is said by a whole bunch of people out there who talk about land and how people are stealing land when these people are too poor to afford land, never will afford land, and are too dumb to be able to afford land in the first place, all the while as they write their toxic comments all over social media. Like, even before the conflict, there were already people going out and then talking about Quil Haram, referring to those Hindu temples that were brought about before all those land titles were actually a thing, right? And now you have like people literally setting up Facebook groups like Rumah Ibadat Haram Mana Hari Ini, and then literally labeling Hindu temples as illegal on Google Maps. It's so toxic. I know that like some of these people are probably like extremists, like they have no interaction with people of other races. They never will. Because like the
frog under the coconut shell,
they will never go out, they will never actually talk to people, share anything meaningful with people, but somehow want to act as if they were terpaling Malaysian, yap about their rights, and insist that somehow supporting Pakistan is the national position and you need to fight everything related to India, to the point that they start fighting the Indian Malaysians who grew up with us, took SPM with us, started working with us, and everything else out there. And I think that that is so sad. Malaysian Indians, you guys are our brothers, our sisters, our friends, colleagues, sepupus in building this world. The fact is that all of us out there who are Malaysian, we have Malaysian citizenship. We build it through tax money, through living in this place, shaping its culture, and pretty much just doing everything that we need to become successful in this place that we call Malaysia. Of course, we have to admit that some of these actions are done by people who are not intelligent enough to actually do anything. That's why they go out there and blame every single other race. And unfortunately, Malaysian Indians, as one of the smallest populations in our country, they don't necessarily have so much political clout as other races, right? Which is why it's very easy to just end up ignoring them, marginalizing them, or anything else out there. You know, something Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong said during the campaign actually comes to me right now, and I think that is super important in this day and age. The real contest is not the PAP versus the opposition, it is Singapore versus the world. And I have to wonder, right? Like, at what point will it be Malaysia against the world and not Malaysians of every race against every single other race in a free-for-all where people are screaming Quil Haram, Durian, Ceroboh Tanah, and all of that nonsense right there, which is frankly not relevant, disrespectful, and has no prospect of actually advancing our country. I think that as Malaysians, we need to come out and condemn this kind of behavior because frankly, India-Pakistan is none of our business. It shouldn't be. I would not have started talking about this if not for Anwar Ibrahim's intervention in the first place. But I have, because it's unveiled a very important divide between the races of this country. It's a divide that I think is very large at the moment, and we hope, of course, that it won't grow. Make no mistake, Indian Malaysians are our brothers in arms in Malaysia, and mocking them and literally throwing shade and blaming them is pretty much like just throwing shade against ourselves as we make ourselves into a house that's ever more divided just because of the actions of a couple of irresponsible people. I think as Malaysians, we need to reject this toxic culture, reject this kind of dog whistling and marginalizing of our Malaysian Indian community, and I think that that starts from every single one of us. Whatever it is, whoever you are and wherever you are at the moment, I hope that you won't lose hope just because of a few specific people who want to go out there and destroy the country. I think those people should be chased into the middle of the South China Sea where they belong. And of course, we hope that the law is actually going to act in order to deal with them. It doesn't matter whether you're Indian, Chinese, or Malay. I think that the India-Pakistan conflict really unveiled a lot of different rifts that I think that need to be addressed in Malaysian society in order for us to really be able to build a nation rather than just living in our separate enclaves and then hoping for the best, for somehow the glue to kind of build together. Because at the end of the day, what happens to the least of us is what happens to the most of us, and building that harmony is something that we have to actually construct from the ground up rather than just hoping that it's gonna just happen automatically. And for that to happen, if somebody tries to attack our Malaysian Indian brothers and sisters, that's an attack against every single one of us. And so I think that it's important for us to actually stand up for them. I hope one day, finally, we're gonna move past all these conflicts, whether it's religious difference or fighting about Quil Haram or anything else out there. And finally, we will be Malaysia against the world. And that's all I have to say about that, and bye.